Hello, friends. The Third Door by Alex Benyan is an inspiring journey that follows an 18-year-old college freshman's quest to interview some of the world's most successful people. His goal was to uncover how they broke through and launched their careers. Here are three key takeaways from the book. Persistence. Success always requires persistence, but it's essential to be persistent in the right way. Never give up upon your dreams and keep fighting your way to that elusive third door. Number two is comfort zone. To make it big in business, step out of your comfort zone. The VIPs don't wait in line, they find unconventional paths. Number three is define your success. Create your own definition of success. Approach the right third door by standing on the shoulder of giants. So, if you want to know more about this book summary, please watch this video fully and subscribe to my channel.
Key point 1. Step 1. Win a boat and sell it. Imagine you are an 18-year-old future medical student. Your parents have high hopes for you because they went to great lengths for you to get a higher education. You feel the burden of responsibility. The pressure increases over time, diminishing your strength to implement the plan. And then, on the eve of your exams, you find yourself lying motionless, staring at the ceiling, unable to open your textbook. Rethink your goals. Are they really relevant to you? The same thing happened to Alex Benyan, and it inspired him to create a book that became a bestseller, turning his mind and life upside down. He was a young man stuck at a dead end while carrying out the plan set by his parents with no idea what he really wanted. How do people make it through this incomprehensible period of adolescence, full of doubts and insecurities, to the pinnacle of their careers? Has Bill Gates ever been in such a bind? If yes, how did he get out? Alex rummaged through dozens of books in the university's library, but could not find answers to these questions. So he decided to write his own book. His journey took an unconventional turn as he took a risky gamble to fund his idea. Want to know the twist? Alex participated in a TV show despite being clueless about its rules. Fortunately, he relied on his resourcefulness and quick thinking to navigate the challenges along the way. And as luck would have it, he won a boat, which he sold for $16,000. Funds he set aside for an interview with Gates. Are you already intrigued by this savvy entrepreneur? Well, brace yourself for a captivating story of his perseverance, ingenuity, and luck. You're in for a treat. Key point 2. Steven Spielberg's non-obvious approach. So, Alex dreamt of writing a book with the life hacks of the most successful people in the world. Each contributor must reveal a hidden secret or distinctive feature that enabled them to get everything simultaneously. Is there a universal key that opens every door? Or maybe it's a password only known to a select few. Forming a dream is already half the battle. But what do you do next? There are no step-by-step instructions on how to proceed when trying to do something others have yet to do before. And at this stage, many potentially great ideas fade because fear of the unknown paralyzes people. Therefore, it is crucial to be open to others' advice and not be afraid to turn to them for guidance and help. This realization helped Alex orient himself and take the first steps toward his goal of interviewing the most prominent people and writing a book about them. Overcoming his initial embarrassment, he reached out to everyone in his network, including acquaintances, teachers, and family friends. Through these connections, Alex learned that Steven Spielberg would soon be attending a charity event at a local film school. With great enthusiasm, he began to study everything about the director. He read several volumes of Spielberg's biography and watched all his films. Good preparation was necessary to ask the director a question at the earliest opportunity and be ready to keep the conversation going. Find role models and learn from their experience to develop your interests. Spoiler alert: Alex never got to interview Spielberg in person. However, his efforts were not in vain, and he gained valuable insights about the director's life that he considered an important tool to achieve his goal. In his early 20s, Spielberg drove to Universal Studios and wandered around until he met one of the studio workers in the parking lot at the entrance. They talked, and the worker offered the aspiring director a pass to the studio. Spielberg was there for several days, making friends and absorbing as much information as possible. He used the experience to create the short film Amblin, winning the then 23-year-old Spielberg a contract with Universal Studios. And that's how he became the youngest director in Hollywood history. A happy coincidence of circumstances would have no meaning if it wasn't accompanied by perseverance, self-belief, and talent. So, it wasn't luck but rather a well-crafted approach. Key point 3. Step 2. Create your own dimension. Inspired by Spielberg's example, Alex chose to get closer to those who interested him by volunteering at a business conference. Being in the right place at the right time paid off, and Alex secured an interview with Qi Lu, president of Microsoft Online Services. Lu was in his 40s, modestly dressed and easy to talk to. He grew up in a poor Chinese village, where getting a proper education or living in conditions conducive to health and development was impossible. His native town lacked basic amenities like running water and electricity. Many residents suffered from hunger. At 27, Lu's salary was $7. How did he escape such a plight to achieve leadership in such an extensive company? Lu dreamed of entering an American university, but could not afford it. Instead, he studied computer science at the University of Shanghai and thought about ways to maximize his potential. Thus, Lu decided to buy himself some time. He realized that everyone has the same 24 hours a day, so Lu reduced his sleep to 4 hours per night, which was optimal for him to function, and freed 4 more hours each day to study. More than 2 decades later, the president of Microsoft Services still lives by that schedule. Wake up at 4 a.m., start work at 6 a.m., and work for the next 18 hours, 6 days a week. Lu believes that consistency is the key to success. All his colleagues say that he lives according to his own dimension, Qi time. Whether reducing sleep is healthy is up to you to judge. Still, this story offers a unique perspective. It shows that even in unfavorable circumstances, there is always a way to gain an advantage over the competition. Well, what happened next in Lu's story? It's an experience an outsider may quickly label as luck. As a student, Lu accidentally attended a lecture from a visiting teacher, who offered him a full scholarship to study in the U.S. After graduation, Lu's friends introduced him to Yahoo management, and 8 years later, he became the company's vice president. Shortly after that, he received an offer from Microsoft. Just how much of this story is pure luck? The choice is yours. You will surely get a lucky ticket, but do your best to prepare for that moment. Key point 4. The 5 rules of the world elite. By this point, you may have been under the false impression that everything was too easy for Alex, and influencers happily agreed to give him endless interviews. Of course, that wasn't the case. Quite the contrary. Alex received so many rejections that he often fell into despair and thought about quitting his venture. However, he occasionally found sources of inspiration that rekindled his enthusiasm. A reward awaits you at the end of your journey, but you must survive all the sharp turns to reach it. Alex's turning point came when he met Elliot Bisnow, a multi-company owner and founder of the Summit Series, a self-help organization for entrepreneurs. Within a few years, Summit grew from 19 to 750 participants, including figures like Bill Clinton, Ted Turner, and Sean Parker. The more Alex learned about Elliot, the more amazed he was that such feats were even possible. How could an ordinary 25-year-old guy enter the circles of the world elite, become one of them, and make money from it? Fortunately, Alex met and communicated with his newly found idol. Yet he had no idea this would develop into a close, long-lasting friendship. While there was no reason for this, Elliot saw an entrepreneurial drive in Alex and predicted a great future for him. He articulated this by saying, "You are one of us." Elliot allowed Alex to attend his business meetings and laid out a few rules that serve as universal advice. 1. Never hold your phone in a meeting. Taking paper notes is more respectful to your colleagues. 2. Treat everyone equally, regardless of their social status. If you behave like a fan, people will treat you accordingly. 3. Maintain privacy. Resist the urge to overshare every achievement on social networks. Allow people to become interested and make inquiries about you. 4. Keep your word and know how to safeguard secrets. You must be a reliable person to be credible. 5. Always be open to adventure. Soon, Alex became a full-fledged part of Elliot's team and acquired the needed experience and contacts. He even received an offer to take a permanent position as a personal assistant. But for Alex, this meant abandoning his idea to create a book. Faced with a tough choice, Alex demonstrated stubborn loyalty to his primary dream, an interview with Bill Gates. Key point 5. Step 3. Be a living, vulnerable person. As you can see, intentional diligence and happy accidents go hand in hand and often overlap. In Alex's life, there was one lucky coincidence for every 10 conscious actions to achieve a goal. This time was no different. Behind it were several interviews with prominent people and many attempts to finalize a contract for publishing a future book with a literary agent. These periods of inspired activity were followed by weeks of despair. Now, there was another crisis. Like any other day, Alex sat outside a grocery store eating a sandwich. Suddenly, as in the best traditions of American comedies, one of the most notable interviewers in history, Larry King, walked past him. King hosted a show on CNN for 20 years. Additionally, he lived in the neighborhood with Alex and had breakfast in the same place daily. Why didn't Alex consider reaching out to him sooner? Moved by Alex's request for guidance on interviewing, King invited the young man to join him for breakfast. The first piece of advice he gave was not to imitate those who have already made their dream come true. King told Alex not to think about what and how his idols do things, but why they do it. The more precisely you formulate your dream and its value, the better you will cope with its implementation. In addition, King spoke about how he once knocked on the doors of every radio station and personally introduced himself to the leaders. Many years later, despite the development of the internet, he would do it the same way. It is clear to him that people want to deal with people, not emails. And you can genuinely establish contact only in person. Alex analyzed his experience and realized he was most favored when meeting people live. So his next destination was a TED conference, where he was to meet Bill Gates' chief of staff. Alex felt insecure because he had already received rejection letters from the Gates headquarters many times. But perhaps it was not him who was refused, but only the letters on the screen. Be that as it may, all that remained was to face the fear. The best cure for nervousness is immediate action. Alex Banian. Did you know? Larry King has been officially married 8 times. Key point 6. Bill Gates won't give you answers. Of course, Alex got his way. You never doubted this story's inventive hero for a second, did you? Finally, an interview with Bill Gates happened. Alex considered this man a superhero and sincerely admired not only his intelligence, but also his kindness. Having reached the pinnacle of business and realizing his career as much as possible, Gates could go on a multi-year vacation, enjoying all the benefits of the world, as all material pleasures were easily accessible to him. Instead, he turned to charity and launched assistance programs designed for tens of millions of people. His efforts aimed to reduce child mortality, stop the spread of disease, and provide education to all segments of the population. Unsurprisingly, meeting Gates had always seemed to be Alex's ultimate goal for fulfilling his dream of writing a book. He expected Gates to tell him something that would turn his whole world upside down. Alex wished for an extensive, concise, beautifully designed secret to change his life. Needless to say, the young man was disappointed. No one would give him universal instruction, not even Gates. Alas, there will be no long-awaited insights. No one can teach you the most valuable lessons. You must learn them from experience. Each answer during the interview with Gates seemed to be trickery and an understatement to Alex. He couldn't understand why Gates didn't want to share real wisdom with him. And only after a while did Alex realize what the wealthiest man in the world was talking about. Gates' advice was primarily to stop expecting quick results from anything because they are fleeting and not guaranteed. He adhered to long-term strategies and put reputation over fast profits and benefits. Gates did not reveal any tricks on how to win the recognition and respect of millions, but spoke about the importance of building trusting relationships based on honesty and responsibility. It took Alex a while to look at this conversation in a new light, through the lens of more experience, and to understand that he should give up the idea of learning life hacks and getting instant rewards. Each of his idols has gone through a unique journey, and none of them has been easy. Genius is the opposite of expectation. Alex Banayan. Conclusion. Imagine success as an exclusive club. You can enter it through the front door, but there is a massive coup. There is a lengthy column of people who live a linear life according to the standard scheme: study, work, retirement. Their path is consistent and uniform. They are bound to gain entry, but for many, this process will consume their youth and maturity, and some will stand in line only for their children's future. About 99% of people are waiting at this entrance. On the other side of the building, there is a second door. It is the VIP side, where people skip the line. This door is only open to those born into families of billionaires and celebrities. This arrangement rightly seems unfair, but there is another way. Alex called it the third door, and it's a secret entrance that no one knows about, and you can only find it if you look hard enough. To get to it, you must run out of line across the entire block, knock on 100 doors, climb through a window, jump several floors, and sneak through the kitchen. The world's leading thinkers have found their third door, and without realizing it, Alex did the same. He planned to write a mind-boggling list of life hacks, but instead created a book about his unfulfilled expectations, overcoming uncertainty, luck, and failure. It turned out that this is the most valuable thing a person can possess: a winding path carried out at their peril and risk, leading to the third door. So, before you give up, having heard from everyone around you that your goal is impossible, carefully examine your surroundings. Perhaps what seems like a dead end to you is only a fork in the road. May you have enough adventurism, daring, and passion to discover the incredible chance awaiting you. Try this. Get to know those who inspire you. Be their friend, not a fan. Study the biographies of people who have succeeded in the field you are interested in. Analyze how they made their way to their third door. Do the things that scare you. This experience will grant you invaluable skills and knowledge.